For our first sugar skull, all we need is an egg and some sugar. Crack the egg and then separate the yolk from the egg white. Put the egg white into a bowl. Now there's no exact measurement for the sugar since eggs tend to be different sizes and how much egg white you get out of each egg can be different. Just keep adding sugar until it feels like wet sand. If it feels like slime, you need to add more sugar. And then just hand mix it as best as you can. Like I said, it needs to feel like wet sand, like you're building a sandcastle. Once you have a sandcastle texture and consistency, you should be able to mold it in your hand. Some people like to do round skulls, but I like to actually shape it out in my palm. Now you can use a butter knife or a tool to make slits for the teeth, and then dig out some eyes and a nose. It helps to smooth out some of the edges with your finger. I'm going to make those divots for the teeth a little deeper so they're more pronounced. Here I am making a second one. Usually you can get at least 2 or 3 of these skulls from one egg. It is also worth noting that since we used raw egg, I do not recommend consuming these. Please note you should let these dry overnight before decorating. They need a minimum of 8 hours to fully dry. For a sugar skull that's a little more professional looking, you will need sugar, meringue powder or meringue powder, depending on your country, a sugar skull mold, fork, cardboard, bowl, 1 cup measurer, some water, and a teaspoon. Add 1 cup of sugar to your bowl. Then add 2 teaspoons of meringue powder, followed by 2 teaspoons of water. Start mixing with the fork. This may take a little time, but keep mixing. It should feel like wet sand. Just like before, once you have the consistency of wet sand, it's like building a sandcastle. Simply start scooping and putting your mix into the mold. Once it's filled up, start using your hands to press it down. You do want it as condensed as possible. We are going to repeat the process for the back of the skull. 1 cup of sugar, 2 teaspoons of meringue powder, 2 teaspoons of water, and mix. Just like before, scoop the contents into the back of the skull, and then compress down. Here's a real quick, easy trick to get your skull out. I always do this over the sink so I don't get sugar everywhere. That's how you get ants. When done, it should look something like this. Please note it does take at least 8 hours for this to dry before decorating. And since this does not have egg, you can consume it. And now on to our final method for making sugar skulls. Just like our previous method, we're going to use meringue powder and sugar, but this time we're going to use a metal skull tin usually used for baking goods. This is a great method because it can make a lot of little sugar skulls in a short amount of time, especially if you have a Day of the Dead decorating party. Here are the final results. We have the metal skull mold, the sugar skull mold, and the egg white method. At any rate, I hope this helped you make some sugar skulls for Day of the Dead.